What is up, Hawks, and welcome back to episode 2 of our Red Chair series. Today we have the honor of interviewing Dr. Charlene Widener. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being asked.
Absolutely. If it's okay with you, I think we'll get right into the interview then.
That sounds great.
All right. So could you please start by sharing with us your job title and give us an idea of what your day-to-day looks like?
I am Vice President of Educational Services here at Northeast. I am about to celebrate my 3rd anniversary with Northeast on February 1st, so 5 days from now. It feels like I've hardly been here a year, let alone 3, so I'm very excited about that. So day to day, I spend a lot of times in meetings talking about big decisions, strategy, even some of the day-to-day many of the operational things within educational services, which has to do with all of teaching and learning. So credit, non-credit, we include in that portfolio our off-campus locations. So we have an external location in O'Neill, West Point, South Sioux City. Those all fall in educational services. So day to day, most days, I spend a lot of times in meetings. However, every day is different. I have no idea what's going to land on my plate when I get here, or sometimes even before I get here, or after I leave. And I enjoy that part of the job too. It's interesting. I get to learn something every day, and so I really enjoy that part of the position and being here at Northeast.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah, it really is.
What part of your day do you look forward to the most?
I recently moved my office over to Maclay. So beautiful building.
Yeah,
you've
wonderful.
been in it. So I love that. One of the things I really like about Maclay is that when you go in, you can walk past a lot of other folks. And so where my temporary office was, I was more back in a corner. And so I got to see a few people in the morning when I came in. It's very different in Maclay. I see a lot of people. I get to say hello to faculty members and to staff members that 5 months ago I was seeing maybe once a week or once every 3 weeks, right? So that morning walk and just saying hello to people and checking in, I really enjoy that. The other thing I will say is I also am learning a lot about people that as I walk by their offices and things like that. So I think about Emily Duncan, who is our Director of Adult Education. So I walk by her office every morning. So what I did not know about Emily is that she's a decorator. For every season she has some new decoration. It's very fancy and beautiful in her office, and so I had an opportunity to learn that and go in and see what matters to people. So that's been really fun.
So at the end of the day, what do you feel most responsible for when it comes to students and learning?
So Gabe, I am a community college graduate. I don't know if you knew that about me.
I did not.
I did, or graduated from a community college in Kansas, and without that experience in my life, I would not be sitting here in this chair with you today. Community college changed my life. It gave me hope in a new way. It gave me a feeling that I belonged. So for me, the work that we do here at Northeast every day is so important because I know that what community college did for me, that is what we do for the students who come here, for potential students who come here, for community members, and I have a real passion for that. So I've talked myself to the point that I can't remember your original question because I get so excited about our community college mission. And so for me, access is extremely important. I want students to feel like this is their place. They belong, that people care about them. We have amazing faculty here. We have great programs, and there's literally something for everyone. And the power of that, to me, is so important. And so getting students to see that is probably what I think is most important about my position and about teaching and learning at Northeast.
What is something that you've changed your mind about over the years?
I've changed my mind about many things. So one of the things that I think is most important for me as a lifelong learner is that I don't know everything. Some days I feel like I know very little.
Yeah.
So I'm going to learn something every day.
Yeah.
And I might go into a situation and this is where I'm heading. I have my mind made up. But there are great brains around me who have really good ideas. And I work really hard to make sure that I'm listening to those things. And so I change my mind a lot, not because I'm necessarily indecisive, but because I know that I don't know everything.
So has there been a moment that you've walked through a classroom, a lab, or just a learning space in general, and you've looked around and you thought, this is why we do this?
So one of my favorite things is to walk around and go to our different buildings when students are in them using our spaces.
Yeah.
So I like to do that. A lot of times I don't even go in because I don't want to interrupt the class or anything like that. But I do love seeing the students in, using the things, interacting with each other and with their faculty. So that to me is really cool. I had an opportunity going to the urban farm one day and working with some students there on planting trees, and I use that term very loosely. I mostly watched and stood around and did whatever they told me, but that was exciting for me, right? But recently I had an experience where I went to our South Sioux City extended location, and this fall we had the opportunity to allow Gateway for Learning, which is the alternative school for South Sioux City, to come in and live in our building. So they are bringing about 80 students every day into that building. And so I had an opportunity to go and tour that space and just interact briefly with the students and the faculty who are there. Part of why that really is sticking with me is because those are students who may not see themselves as college material. I didn't see myself as college material, right? When I was younger, I didn't even know what it was really, outside of this thing that was, big and expensive and all the things. Those students are getting that opportunity every day. They get to go to dual credit classes. Some of them are in our welding program already as juniors and seniors, and the power of that to me is so important. It just was a great opportunity for me to remember this is why we do what we do.
Absolutely. What is one spot on campus that feels underrated to you?
I think we have a beautiful campus at Northeast. I've had an opportunity to travel and go to different colleges, and there are so many places at Northeast that have been thought out really for student comfort and student success. So right now we're in the Union. I love this spot. We have a lot of events that happen over here. They're live, they're dynamic, so I really enjoy that. We have state-of-the-art labs in a lot of our programs, and so those spaces are really cool for me. I am not an electrician, so I love going and looking at all the things that they do. I don't find a lot of comfort in there because I don't want to touch anything, right? But we have amazing spaces here. But I will say the one space that I think is very different at Northeast than any college I've been to is our library space.
Yeah.
A lot of libraries I've been in, I've researched in, they're big, dark buildings with rooms, and they're kind of sanctioned off a bit. Our library here is open, it is bright, it's inviting. It feels so different than a traditional college library, and I love that.
Absolutely. What helps you reset on a tough day?
I have a twin sister. Her name is Charlene.
Really?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
And so I speak to her on FaceTime every morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. We talk through our days, what's happening at work. We talk about, we do our hair and makeup together.
Really?
So yes, and so, that 10 to 15 minutes to really connect and laugh. And so really spending the time with those people in my life, it helps me reset. It makes me happy and feel like whatever it is, it's okay because I'm going to see my kid and husband tonight, and I'm going to for sure get to talk to my sister in the morning. So.
Absolutely. Do you guys were you guys ever able to do like the mind reading thing? Like I've heard some twins can kind of do that.
We are very close.
Yeah.
We do stuff sometimes that freak other people out.
Yeah.
For us, it seems normal.
Yeah.
So it's so I don't know. I don't read her mind, but we often do show up on FaceTime, and we both are wearing the same shirt that I had no idea she even bought, and she had no idea that I bought, and we're both wearing it. When we're done here today, I'll show you a picture, a picture where I took it one morning on FaceTime because we woke up and we were wearing the same shirt, and we both had our hair pulled up in the same way.
Really?
No plans, nothing. Just a regular morning. So we have some things like that happen often.
So what excites you most about seeing students learning by doing rather than just hearing?
So I taught for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I ever taught a class was in 1993. I'm really aging myself today. I was a grad student at Kansas State University, and I taught public speaking. So Gen Ed, not a class that everyone loves. I would say maybe most people don't love it. What I loved from the very beginning, the reason why I ended up here today is the students in communication classes, it's not about, here, let me tell you all the things about communication and you regurgitate them on a test. It is about, here is a theory, let's stand up and practice it, let's do that. And so I've always been a big fan of experiential learning. I have seen students grow and change. I've seen students in my communications classrooms where on day one, they can't even stand up from their chair because they're shaking so bad. And then by the end of the class, they're able to stand up and present in front of people. That is exciting to me. And that only happens because they get an opportunity to practice it, not just hear about it. So we have real power in experiential learning, and I love that is a focus of Northeast faculty. We have so many labs here, opportunities for students to practice what they're learning. Even the pre-engineering makerspace, that's a great example of a lab where it's not a super fancy space, but the students get to go in there and experiment and learn things, and that's really exciting to me.
So when you think about Northeast graduates graduating and going into the workforce, what makes you confident in their readiness?
We have really good faculty and staff here at Northeast who care about their students.
Absolutely.
And I know that. I see it every single day. And that alone gives me the confidence that our students are going to go out and be successful because they're professionals. They want our students to succeed. And they're doing all of the right things to ensure that our students do succeed. And so I have a lot of confidence in that. In fact, graduation is one of my favorite days because I know those students are ready. I know, and the faculty come and they walk in with students and watch them walk across the stage, and you can see the pride and just that in itself makes me know that we're doing the right things here and we got the right people to do them.
All right, fun question here.
Okay.
If you had to move into one academic building on campus and make it your home, which one would you pick and why?
I'm going to stick with McClay.
Yeah?
I've only been there 5 months, right?
Yeah.
And so it is a beautiful building, and I'm really enjoying the social aspect of being in that building.
Yeah.
So that's really my answer. And just so well done. The facilities team, our administrative services team, who really worked with the architect and helped develop that building to be student and faculty friendly. It's a beautiful space, and you feel that, and you feel it's open and it's light, and it feels like Northeast cares about students. They want all students to come and be successful. That's what I feel in that space, and so I'm going to stick with McClay for now.
Yeah. Charlene, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. This has been a lot of fun. I love Northeast, and I enjoy talking about Northeast and our students and our faculty and staff, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of our Red Chair series. Hawks, as always, onwards and upwards.